So last week we started this, and things went swimmingly. We killed 2 Kerbals, it was great. The first one, we 100% knew they were gonna die instantly. We intentionally set it, we were like, well, we'll just put a Kerbal in a tin can and put a booster underneath it. I mean, we haven't invented parachutes yet, but what could possibly go wrong? And then at the very end of the stream, we designed a plane, knowing full well that planes have about a 99% kill rate on Kerbals. And god damn it, we almost landed. We sort of came to a skid. Our wheelbase was very small and it sort of toppled and boom, 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 boom. So rip 2 Kerbals. It is sad. Poor Sir Knackle and Nonsense Speaker. Nonsense Speaker actually even made it into space and everything. He had 1 star of experience. So what we might do now is we might try to be a little bit more careful with killing people with actual XP, just because at some point we're going to need it. Careful and Kerbal doesn't really go together, though. And everything's a little bit funner when we kill things. Anyway, let's go ahead and draft a couple of pilots, because we are out of pilots. So we're going to grab a couple of people from chat. We've got Swear to Crazy I'm Not God. And one more. Gregory, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2. Kerman has also been recruited. Because we're intentionally sort of killing these guys and hiring them, it costs a lot of money. We're gonna go and just give ourselves a little bit of cash again, so that we can actually build the spaceship. I mean, we could run a bunch of missions and stuff like that to accrue money, but that would be very boring. So we're just gonna pretend we've run some missions over here. Okay. Speaking of missions. And actually, one of the reasons I didn't have quite enough money for all this is because I spent some money upgrading some buildings. So I've got 5 active missions going on over here. So we did get a mission in the queue to build a space station around Kerbin. Boom! Get science data from space around Kerbin, which we've done already, but we can repeat. Elf! Elf, have you ever played Kerbal on your channel? That would be hella fun. I mean, you must have. So Elf does like tons of great stuff. Mountain Blade, Dwarf Fortress, I mean tons of stuff. I know I've come in for some, but have you played RimWorld? I feel like you might. And I don't know if you've done Kerbal, but damn, that would be hilarious. I do have this, and I've streamed it. Okay, good. Excellent. So science stuff. We got to position a satellite in a specific order of orbit around Minmus. This is crazy. We don't even have a satellite around Kerbin yet. And our first satellite mission is to go around Minmus, which honestly we want to do at some point, so that's fine. Get scientific data from the surface of the moon. Excellent, we're gonna go to the moon, and we've got a mission here to explore the moon as well. So we're gonna have to sort of pick and choose what we're gonna do first. The big thing I want to do with this Let's Play ultimately is get a space station in orbit and send out missions that go to, say, Duna and return and dock with the space station. Another mission that goes to Jewel and does that. Maybe we set up a space station waypoint at Jewel. Although replenishing that's going to be a pain in the butt. I don't know if I've got any sort of greenhouse mods installed. Maybe we'll have to do something like that. We will see. So to accrue tons of science, the thing that would make sense right now would be to go to the moon. I mean, we've got a mission for it and everything. Go to the moon, collect a crap ton of science, and bring it back. And that's probably the sort of smartest way to go. And honestly, it's probably the only way to go right now. We do have the mission for the space station, which is cool. But it needs capacity for 5 Kerbals. I just don't know if we have the parts to satisfy that or to get something that heavy into orbit right now. There's a tourist destination mission over here, which is just basically get them to orbit and back. We could do them as separate flights or whatever. So we could do something like that if we wanted to, which would give us a little bit of money, but I think we can wait. It would lead to other things. We'll probably do that. And yeah, ScanSat stuff on the satellite. So we could start off. I guess the question is, do we want to send a manned mission to the moon, or would we still want to do this unmanned first? Which is actually trickier, because with the unmanned, we have to worry about satellite signals and things like that. On the plus side, a unmanned mission is quite a bit lighter. And if we send an unmanned mission first, that is just parts like not the material science bay, but other experiments, they think they can all be, most of them can be transmitted for like 100%. Not the goo, not that. There might be some others. So we could just send a one-way mission to send science there. Now, that would not satisfy, I believe, the Explore the Moon mission. Oh, this one is just literally flyby. Oh, we almost did this one last time, but we didn't bring it back. We've burned up on re-entry. So that, again, that would just be a flyby, that one, which is different from the surface and the moon mission. Although I suppose we could do a flyby and detach a probe that lands. Send 3 satellites in moon orbit in 1 launch. That would be kind of interesting. And all of a sudden, a kind of an interesting and complex mission. If we do a multi-satellite and a drop probe, doing that and bringing something back starts to become incredibly complex. It might be possible. I don't know if we have that many parts. And we still don't have a satellite in orbit around Kerbal itself. Although I guess we can reach. The thing that we put in orbit around the moon will reach just fine.
It's whiskey and chocolate.
Hey, 603, thank you very much. When will you go to the moon to get the moon dust so you can fake the moon landing in the studio? Good call. Good luck for not killing too many experienced Kerbals. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Okay, tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna design a mission. It's gonna be an unmanned one-way lander to land on the moon so we can transmit data from the moon. We get some more science to unlock some more stuff, complete another mission, which is good. In addition to that, piggybacking off that will be a communication satellite that we're gonna leave in orbit around the moon. That's what we're gonna do. Have you considered KOS for this playthrough? I did consider it, Joseph. KOS is really awesome. It's like programmable Kerbal stuff, and you can do some really awesome things. We may add it in. We will see. So, how come I can't? There we go. Right click to leave this up. This is a smarter probe core. Let's say, okay, we start with the Prototype Octo 2. And what I'm gonna design is the lander component, okay? We're gonna want some extra power to make sure we don't run out of juice. And that's like, we might be able to design a fairly small profile version of this. That might be a little excessive on the power, to be honest. We shall see. And just a pair? I don't know, we'll get a trio of solar panels, like that. And so for science-wise, there's no way for us to find out if this science transmitted 100% or not, which is a little unfortunate, although I believe the seismic accelerometer does. So we'll put you and a press mat barometer here. And a thermometer here. Magnetometer can probably do it as well, but it's really awkward to put on our ship. So let's say this thing is basically going to be our lander. So to do that, it's going to need some sort of fuel tank. I guess we don't have anything that's smaller, although we can use this adapter here, which might be kind of convenient. Now that's not a ton of fuel. Oh, those things. Hang on. Right, so that's a little bit bigger, but not the same. Oh, no, it is the same as those. Oh, this goes to the... Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wrong about what this adapter is.
It's whiskey
You know what? This is going to be fine. Get one of those. We've got more whiskey and chocolate from a very angry Viking. Thank you very much. Or very angry Viking. G. I don't get... Oh, it went away too fast. Sorry, I spent so much time looking at your name. I don't get to watch your live stream very much, but I just want to show my appreciation for the content you produce, and it helps the community. Keep it up. Well, thank you very much, very angry Viking. I really appreciate the support. I mean, very much, because that's literally like the only way I make my living. But thank you very much. Huge. Smaller fuel tank on the bottom right. Really? Oh, this one, the Oscar B. Yeah, you're right. But I think I'm actually going to be pleased with this. I suspect if we get something like a trio of spiders. So this is the surface level thrust on Kerbal. So it's less than 1, which is bad, which means on Kerbin, this could not give us any lift. But on the moon, where gravity is 1/6 the amount, this should be plenty of thrust for us, which should be very good. And then we just need some, I guess, ground components, these like micro lander struts. This is going to be plenty. I mean, really, you want it sort of as low as you want? Well, no, not really, center of mass and things. Like this, plus an antenna. I mean, this is going to be a very good little lander. Huge delta V on this bit, too. Move your head, you can't see. Oh, you can't see the stats. The delta V stats, huh? Here, we'll do a little something, like that. Okay. Do you need a reaction wheel? That's a great question, and often something I forget about. Does this Probodobonine have a reaction wheel? It does not. Good catch. So we got the small inline one, yeah. I'll probably want to put it a little bit more center of massy. So something like that. Okay. And then we need an antenna. We probably want this, well, if we do leave a satellite in orbit, it could act as a relay. The problem is, let's, MSP Fox's star. Petra spacecraft. Okay. The problem is, it might not have line of sight to the satellite in orbit all the time, and we could have problems landing this thing. Once it's landed, it's fine, but yeah, that might be a little bit of an issue. So I think what we do is we throw a high gain antenna on this thing, large enough that it can reach Kerbin. There we go. Something like this. It'll probably deploy actually when we're in flight, because we can land like this. This is fine. I don't think this is very physicsy in terms of offsetting our center of mass. I'm not sure. Bring 3 satellites for guaranteed coverage. I mean, we could. I think this mission might be a little much for that. So this is the lander. And then what I want to do is above this. I mean, we could consider if we build really micro satellites, something like that might be possible. Why isn't this, like, the ordering of this is odd? Sorted by name. So this would be a good one for us to use the very, very tiny inline engine. Do we have a tiny, tiny inline? Right, we've got the Ant. I guess that works. And then the Oscar. And then a reaction wheel and a probe core. I don't think we even need batteries on this. There, and then we want a relay satellite on this one, which this one here is a relay antenna. Wow, 15G, that's huge, yeah. There we go, that's the one we want, 2G. 2G coverage, like that. And that should be plenty. And good, just in case to grab a battery. I mean, I suppose, probably. If we need to do a maneuver on the dark side. Sure, what the heck. Okay, I think this is our payload. So then... what am I looking for? This decoupler? I guess. I don't think we can build like the super big width. We're gonna do this, and then now what we need is basically the trans-lunar injection phase. Something like that. With a Terrier engine. And we're gonna get a fairing on here in a second, but we're gonna want this decoupler. Then Do we not have fairings? It would be in here, or would it be under payload? Yeah, there we go. That's slightly too wide. Those things are clipping just a little. There we are. That's a pretty big fairing. Oh, lights. Good point. Yes. Can I add safety lights? Anyway, we'll put it, where are we gonna put this? Just here, right here. And here. They probably use too much power, but that's okay. Excellent, so we're gonna have lights now. We'll want to double check the staging protocol here. We might do some manual stuff with these stages, because this is all going to be once we're in space kind of thing. Isn't it shift-click to be able to, like, move a big stack of stuff? What's going on here? There we go. Same as last time. For some reason, it wasn't super responsive. We might want that to be a poodle or something. What are we looking at now? Now we can't ignore we can't look at all the DV stats. Yeah, we have no asparagus staging yet. We haven't unlocked that. Because like there'll be a lot of extra DV in this, then we can't really pay attention to that. The big thing is, will the stages at the bottom get us to orbit? And right now the answer is no. That's very low surface level thrust. Still, we can use that to finish things. And even this is actually way too low. This is enough to get us moving here, unfortunately. So we may have to go a little bigger. There we go. That's an oomph to get us moving, because you want this to be above 1 so that you move. And now we're looking at about 3,400 meters per second between this stage and this one over here, which is probably enough to get us into orbit. What I'll probably do, and there's all sorts of auto strutting that we can do now. You know, stuff like that, just to keep things a little bit more stable. There we go. Maybe a little bit more over here. Strut it all to the root part. I think we're going to throw on some SRBs to get us started as well. Doesn't need like a crazy amount. There's a little something something. And probably what we'll do is we'll light all the engines at the same time. Oops, that didn't actually go. There. Light all the engines at the same time, and then just drop these. Just using fleas might be enough, actually. And we got some bits in. Who'd that from? Elzar, hey, thank you very much! He says, thanks for getting me hooked on KSB and Factorio. Are you suggesting it might be a little bit of a time sink? I don't know what you're talking about. There we go. Something like that. Has the grace and subtlety of the Ariana 2 rocket. No such thing as too much overkill. That's right. All the game's cool plays are time sinks. Yeah, I mean, you don't want free time for anything else. I mean, that would be terrible. Okay. Now, it is very tall, and that has me a wee bit concerned, especially with the width of the top. Our launch, in terms of aerodynamic things, will be very tricky. Scansat. Oh, some Scansat for the top bit. You're right, so we can get some scans of the moon. Decouples? I think we're going to decouples, aren't we? Do you want to do a giveaway of KSP? I have an extra Steam key for. Yeah, Jason, that sounds cool, man. Also, whiskey and chocolate. Whiskey and chocolate? Load. It's whiskey and chocolate from Skepsapa. Hey, thank you very much. Thanks for many hours of great gameplay. Upgrade to vodka. Thank me later. We do some of that around here too sometimes. Our love of vodka in this household started when we went to Toronto one day and we went to a vodka bar called Pravda. And we did tastings of like interesting and different vodkas paired with things. It was really cool. It's like a wine tasting bar, but for vodka, and it was incredible. Okay. So Scansat stuff, yeah. I mean, there's the radar altimetry one. It's so big, though. And there's even the undersized signals intelligence satellite. Listening to every imaginable form of communication, discovering radio anomalies in the planet's surface, or just impressing your neighbors. Warning, dish is fragile, not for use in the atmosphere, cannot be retracted. Can be used at up to 5 times the normal low orbit altitude. Can be used as a powerful communications antenna. Oh, it's a relay antenna. And it's a science experiment. I don't know. I don't know what mod added that in. That's very cool. After the triple stage decouplers. We have a decoupler right here. Right? So all the engines light, then we eject the SRBs. Then after that burns out, we drop the triple stage, and then we have an engine here. And then airfoil, drop this, and then there's some more stuff with engines over here. This one should be lit. This one here should not be until there's another decoupling, which is probably going to go there or something like that. But again, we'll probably revisit the our staging configuration when we're actually in space. There are no chutes on the boosters at this time. We do have stage recovery put on. We could probably recover this stuff and save a few bucks, actually. Now, with stage recovery mod turned on, do you even have to activate the parachutes, or do they just have to be present for it to do the recovery? I feel like you don't even have to activate them. Just present. So if we go and make a dummy stage way up here with all our parachutes in them, so they never actually get staged, in theory, those will work with the real, the stage return mod. We'll find out. This is a campaign, so you're worrying about cost return? Yeah, this is the full campaign mode, which is the only way I like to play. You have to specify the weight. Need about 1 chute per ton. We have batteries on the top satellite. However, we haven't actually added the scanner yet, since it's going to be kind of awkward here. Like, normally, yeah, I would make the chute activate with separators, but sometimes they can be wonky. Oh, go to action groups and select parachutes? For the stage recover thing? I don't know, man. I don't have all the things unlocked. Anyway, let's just move on. It's a little amount of money, who cares? So I would love to get the radar altimetry on here. Okay, let's redo. Let me just delete the fairing for now. How am I gonna get this going? It's like, it's such a big piece of gear, and I really want this. Like, it doesn't have another node, so I can't stick. What? I'm clearly doubling up on something and clipping things. But we can just pretend we have some sort of hybrid device over here that works. Hey, Spitalier with the gifted subs. Thank you very much, Spit. That's awesome. You know, yeah, we could do stuff with Gert. You know what? We'll just go with this. This is fine. Seems legit, exactly. We'll try to launch it and it's just gonna explode because of the clipping. I'm sure everything is okay. The wheels are the landing gear sticking out a little, but it's probably okay. We'll flare it out just a scooch more over here. There we are. There, looks neat. Change mid. Do you need to do that for the real estate? The problem is, like, so in the normal game, the normal way of doing it, yeah. So what I would do is I would set a min pressure, and I would have them stage with the separators. Now, the problem is, the recovery works as long as you don't leave, what's the physics sphere, like 16 kilometers or something, where things are physically simulated? And then the parachutes would work in the normal game. The problem is when you go outside of that, then it no longer works unless you have the staging mod. I don't know, I guess we'll do it, you know, the way I would normally do it, which is, there you go. So we're gonna activate the parachutes at the same time as we stage, which might destroy the parachutes or whatever. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. Yeah, nerding around, you can always do an exclamation mark mods to get the list of mods that I'm using for various things. PDXCon? What happened? What? And no batteries on the satellites, only reaction wheel? Oh, did I not actually? Oh, you're right. No, there's batteries right there. Little tiny battery. Reaction wheel, battery. Nope, we're good. So I think we'll just launch. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Exactly, Cynthia.
It's whiskey and chocolate.
It's whiskey and chocolate. Well, let's evaluate that real quickly, and then can we get this thing on the launch pad, or... Oh, we have the capacity, apparently. Nice. Who's that? It's Soccer Man! Thanks for the hours of entertainment. Any plans to continue a RimWorld series? Yes. The one that I forgot about for a while. That's hopefully the idea. Da 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 da. That changes them in pressure, they won't be destroyed. Yeah, because they shouldn't immediately deploy. It might on the SRBs, because the SRB one will go pretty quick. At the same time, SRBs are so cheap that it's probably not worth setting up the parachute things for them. Possibly go wrong if things will... Oh, I didn't actually use the struts to hold it up. This is like the most unrealistic part of Kerbal. The fact that you can have your spaceship sitting on the... what would this be called? It's like the exhaust cone or something like that of your rockets, and not have the entire thing just collapse. Like, that's a lot of weight sitting on some relatively thin metal. But it's fine. It is totally okay. All right, let's bring up a few things here. The orbit info, please. Thank you very much. I might still be covering something. No, we're mostly okay. Excellent. We got more whiskey and chocolate. It's from Kuman! I have subbed to you for 21 months already. Jeez! I'm so happy. I have a blanket on because it's getting really cold already. So it's soup every day for dinner until spring comes around. Yeah. Winter is coming here too. I'm hoping for like one last maybe, you know, hot day or something. That would be nice. Nozzle? Yeah, maybe the nozzle, yeah. All right, well, I guess it's time to go. Sun's rising in the east. Everything is looking really lovely. There's like... Can you guys see a line here? Where my mouse is? It, like, is locked to the camera. I'm worried that, like, my monitor's busted. No, I can't see it. Yeah, okay, you can see it. Okay, so it's a rendering thing. I put another window in front of it and I couldn't see the line anymore. So I'm like, okay, thank God. I was worried it was part of the monitor. So there's something going on with the camera or something. At least, maybe it's a glitch with the sun, the sun ray effect or whatever. I don't know. That's east. No, you're right. It's sunset, isn't it? I was thinking the sun is rising, but no, because we're going to be going east. So that's the sun setting in the west. All right, anyway. We've got SAS on. We've got full throttle. We've got staging that seems vaguely maybe correct. I'm not sure. We're going to pull this open, and we're going to go. 3, 2, 1, blast off. Whoa, we've got a little bit of separation between these guys. I probably should have interstrutted them, actually. And we're getting a lot of rotation. Yep. All right, so guys, the simulator has indicated something. Strutted the ship to the sun accidentally. Yeah, so I strutted thing to the root, but I should have strutted things to each other. Even if it wasn't going to pull itself apart, although it clearly was, we would have lost a lot of our delta V there. There we go. Let's use extra struts. More struts, more better. Done. Okay. Let's try that again. I'll strut, then strut. I mean, it strutted to the root part. I could have just left it to the heaviest part, but often that doesn't quite work out for me, but yeah. Wiggling just the rocket showing it's happy. No, right, yeah. All right. Full throttle. SAS on. Launch. That's a little better. Although we're still getting a scooch, a little rotation maybe. We're approaching 100 meters per second, so we're going to start our gravity turn. I'm going to be really careful about not going outside of the prograde, though, because I'm really worried that this is aerodynamically very susceptible to suddenly lose its shit. Although we do have a lot of gimbling engines. Stage. And the parachutes did deploy right away. Alright, I really want to be turned quite a bit more. I'm still super concerned. I needed like a max Q calculation in this play here. Well, actually, I guess we're not going too bad. We're steeper than I would like.
It's whiskey
But not
and chocolate.
devastatingly so. Okay, I just went outside of the prograde, which now that the air is getting thinner, it's slightly safer to do. I mean, I guess I have a lot of atmospheric control with these controllable winglets plus the gimbling engines. So it's not too bad. Apoapsis is over a minute and still climbing, so our gravity turn is definitely later than I would like. I think we can be more aggressive now, because the air continues to get quite thin. So we're just reliant on the gimbling of our engines to steer us now, rather than the winglets. I'll check the whiskey and chocolate in a second here. Because remember, getting to space is easy. Going up and hitting space is easy. Orbit is all about going sideways as fast as possible. So what we're wanting to do here is we're trying to go and build up as much sideways speed as possible. I'm going to stop our engines completely when our apoapsis reaches about 100k. Because I don't want to push up any higher than that. I mean, you don't need any higher than, 70,001 kilometer. But, beautiful planet. And we'll kill the engines about there. We're still in the atmosphere, so we'll bleed off a little bit of that velocity, but not much. I guess we could have dropped the aerostream, the airfoil, the fairing a little bit ago. As soon as the atmosphere stops being a problem, you can drop the fairing to save yourself some weight. Little bits going over there. So I think these are going to burn up on re-entry. How about you? Considering we still have fuel in them, they're going to get dumped in space. Let's turn our lights on. Extend our solar panels. Which I really need MechJeb to be... We need to research the upgrades to MechJeb so that it can auto-deploy these for us. Or we have to unlock action groups so that I can add them all to action groups, because this is kind of a pain in the butt. How long until apoapsis? A minute and a half. Okay, good. What's relative exposure? All right. But we may as well use what's left in the tank here. If we lose the bottom part, we lose the bottom part, that's fine. Oh, shoot, I still didn't set the option to have the nav ball automatically expand. Curses. All right, lock yourself to prograde. Is it possible to heat shield boosters? Oh, to heat shield boosters. Yeah, possible, but yeah. And yeah, we got some little lights on us. Oh. Again, this is our perpetual electricity machine, because we use the lights to shine on the solar panel to generate power. Oh my god, we got more whiskey and chocolate coming in. As soon as we're circularized, I will catch up on those. Make sure I don't forget. Okay, we're gonna fast forward a little. Okay, it is a little early for a circularization burn, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it just to get rid of this staging here. So, go. Okay, stage, and go. This is that engine, right? Yeah, it's not staying lit, like highlighted when I spacebar, but yeah. Okay, we're still gonna pass apoapsis, but that's fine. That's gonna go crashing into the ground at some point, and probably burn up on re-entry, depending on how the stage recovery system actually works. Circularization taking a little longer than I hoped. So it's okay. I'm just going to pitch up a little. There we go. Just to help. It's a little less of an efficient burn, but it's going to give us a little bit more time to complete our circularization. And then what I'll do is I'll save, and I'll go back to the main menu. And I'll make sure to make it so that when we switch to the map, the nav ball stays open, because it's super important. Yeah, and there's not a lot of thrust here. I forgot that this engine's a little bit weak sauce for the weight that we're trying to push. We're going to be fine, because we're not like about to re-enter the atmosphere or anything. But it still means I'm doing this slightly less efficient burn by not burning directly prograde. By burning directly prograde is the best way to add more energy to your orbit, which is ultimately what we're looking for here. But I'm having to tilt this way and shift our orbit just to make sure we've got enough time bought before we enter. So it's less efficient, but slightly required. And we should have lots of extra fuel, though. There we go. Just face prograde now. And wait for it. Okay, we're pushing our apoapsis a little high, but I guess yeah. That's the other thing with doing the angle, is you don't do that quite as much. Alright, we're gonna call it good. We're definitely not chocolate. Rem Pendragon, hey! We'll check that out in 1 second. We are orbital now. It's not circular because of this. So what we're doing by burning slightly, I guess, radial, right, away from the planet, is we're trying to take this circle of our orbit and turn it, okay, sorry, I have everything mirrored, right, from my webcam, and turn it like this. So if we did that, then it'd be a little bit more circular than what we have now. But that's okay. We're fine. This thing is on, and therefore we don't even need the other antenna. But I'm going to go ahead and deploy it now anyway, so that I don't forget later on when we separate these stages out or anything. And there's no experiments to do because we've done all these. Okay, so we can just leave this guy parked in orbit forever now if we need to. We've got time. So everything's good. Okay, so let's go and see the whiskey and chocolate contributions. The jet fuel and solar panel fund. We got, so we had Kuman, yeah. Oh, and again, Kuman comes in and say, I forgot to say, I bought 2 large beer glasses today for around $3 US, so I can offer you a large glass of beer when you come to Aarhus next time you come to Denmark. Dude, Aarhus is, and meeting you is so very high, very, very high on the list. Because it's October, the local liquor store is selling like giant steins as well, for beer, but it's like, I don't know if I got space to keep that stuff around my house, but it's really tempting. Just sit here with like a big like 1 liter stein, drinking beer on stream. That would be fun. And yeah, Mike came in. He says, hey man, long time no see. Absolutely, man. Finally caught a stream. Just wanted to give you a KSP tip. If you want to dock 2 vessels, set to target the docking port and turn on SAS. Then switch to the other craft and do the same there. That way we'll aim at each other. Interesting. Yeah, I don't normally switch back and forth between the two, but that's probably a good idea. And then Ryan came in and said, most important rule, no boom today. Wait, what's Kerbal without boom? First of all, we need boom to go up in the first place. So obviously there's going to be some boom. Now, we are going that way to the moon. So we have to wait until we're in the right place to make a burn to go to said moon. But first, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quick save. Actually, I'll make an explicit save here just to make sure. I'm going to drop to the main menu. Someone completely missed a Babylon 5 reference. You know, it's one of those things, actually, that I watched some when it was on TV, and then you miss a few episodes, and that's it. I've never gone back and, like, done a watch of the whole series. I don't think it's on Netflix or anything. I gotta find a way to just stream the whole bad boy, or maybe it's, like, affordable to pick up as just, like, a whole collection on iTunes or something. Hey, it's Cool Man again! What you need to send to space is beer? Wait, what? Reload. Reload this page, damn you. What you need to send into space is beer and soup, so people can have beer and soup for dinner every single day. That's a liquid diet. Boom equals bad control, boom equals good. All right, maybe. So where's the button? Oh, here we go. Auto hide navball in map view is terrible. Turn that off. You do not want that. At least I never want it. Oh yeah, the Petra flag. We'd actually have to restart the whole game to get the Petra flag in there. And if I want it to be the main flag of our game, I'd also have to go and edit the save file. I meant to do that before starting this week, and my apologies that I did not.
It's whiskey and chocolate.
B5's on Amazon Prime? Excellent, I do have that. It's Primo Victoria! Victoria 84, man, most of us here are waiting for Victoria 3, and this guy's got Victoria 84 over here. Balvenie Triple Cask, Banhaven, or Glengoyne 21. I don't know. Not sure yet, but I'll have one of those on you. Thank you for years of entertainment. Finally able to get back, so have one on me. Cheers from a half Canadian, half Austrian living in Norway. Wait, how does that even happen? What? Half Canadian, half Austrian living in Norway? I'm really curious about your life story, man. Victoria 84, released in 2826 CE. All right, let's go ahead and fly this bad boy. Are those liquors or rocket names? Well, that's a good idea. We could name all our rockets after, like, single malt scotch or something. You think you can change the flag from the astronaut complex? Oh, okay, so I don't have to edit the save? That's good to know. We go to map view and the nav ball stays open. Hooray! And the reason this is important is because you can't steer the ship if the nav ball is not visible, right? If it's hidden, your inputs are ignored for ship piloting. And I like to be able to steer the ship from this point of view. Okay, so we know to get to the moon, what you want to do is you want to burn right around the point where the moon rises in the sky. It happens to be the right place to do it. So we'll actually use a maneuver this time, rather than do it by the seat of our pants. We'll set about there. We'll be burning prograde to add energy to our orbit, which makes our circle bigger. And the goal is going to be to intersect the moon somewhere over here. Now, I like to do the initial maneuver where we just barely get the intersection. And then after you perform this maneuver, you can focus on the moon, see exactly where your orbit will end up, and you can do a tweak maneuver right after your initial burn, which is still very fuel efficient, but lets you sort of pinpoint things a lot. Did get an interesting email after last week about someone making the case for doing retrograde orbit stuff for returns and things, which doesn't apply here because we're not returning, we're staying in orbit and things, but it is something we'll possibly try. For a variety of things, including possibly a free return. The problem is, even with a retrograde, which does soak energy out of your orbit, oftentimes you still don't get the free return at all because that window is very small to do in Kerbal because of the relative size of the planets. And what can often happen with the coming into the orbit retrograde is, yeah, it will slow you down, but often it slows you down too much, so you would intersect with the planet. So you end up having to make a prograde burn afterwards relative to Kerbin to boost your periapsis high enough so they don't come smashing directly into Kerbin. So anyway, none of that applies now, but I want to address it because it was a very good email. And I have something in my eye. I think it's a lash, but okay, I think we're okay. Anyway, so we have a bit of a maneuver planned. And again, I'm planning this maneuver for the minimum possible encounter. This, when your patch conics here break and you get a purple line, it means you're going to intersect the moon. And then what I'll do is I'll do this burn and then we'll tweak. And that's going to be groovy. So we need a burn of about 846 meters per second worth of delta V. We have over 1100 delta V in this stage here. This is our Trans-lunar injection phase. So we got more than enough delta V to do that and the corrective burn, and probably some left over for our orbital interest. Actually, this is our Trans-lunar injection phase. This was just supposed to help us circularize. Okay, we got way more delta V than we need, which is good. Way more than we need is just enough. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and quick save. Always quick save before time warping. Otherwise, terrible things happen. And I guess I could fast forward to the maneuver node. Warp to next maneuver. There we go. Always quick save before warping, though. Sometimes weird shit happens. You miss your node, or something bizarre can happen.
It's whiskey and chocolate.
It's whiskey and chocolate. And Nosy says, you can never have too much delta V. That's right. Hey, Vinny Pop. Hey, Quill. How does NASA throw a party? They plan it. That's so bad. It's so bad. Also, I love your content. Thank you for playing Kerbal again. Well, thank you very much, Vinny Pop. Oh, it's terrible. Okay, we need to, oh, do you not have the face maneuver? No, I guess you don't. All right, so that's fine. We will just point ourselves manually to the maneuver node. There you go. We still have SAS on for stability to help hold it.
It's whiskey.
I mean, basically, it's a pro-grade burn. The burn... Oh, we don't have an estimated burn time. Oh, that's one mod I'm missing. The better, more accurate burn times mod. Oh, well. We got 20 seconds to go. I'll start the burn now. Oh, shit. I should have started it sooner. That's right. I forgot, like, we have so little oomph compared to the weight of our ship that the burn would actually be much longer than I'm used to. We will double check the whiskey and chocolate fund, which is coming in now. I will verify that after we're done this burn, because I just want to babysit it here. Now, what we could do is we could actually ditch the stage here, and do the burn with this one, which would go a lot faster, because it'd be a lot less waste. But we'd be losing all this fuel for no damn reason, so that would be terrible. We got more whiskey and chocolate. Yeah, we're gonna totally fuel. That's what we're burning here. This rocket fuel is fine cask strength single malt whiskey, which is, you know, is a shame, but we got to get to the moon somehow. It does leave a nice peaty scent to the atmosphere, though, and who doesn't love that? We're going to try to stay sort of locked on the maneuver node here. Now, the fact that we started this burn a little late means it'll be a little less efficient, and in addition to that, we might not end up exactly where we're planning, but most likely... Oh, and usually here I don't even care about watching the maneuver. Mostly I use that maneuver to give us a good idea of when to start the burn, and then I just go here and I wait for this blue line to do this. In fact, I can get rid of the maneuver completely. The maneuver itself is irrelevant. Here, we'll just lock the prograde, it'll be fine. It's effectively what we're doing. It'll just change where we actually encounter things, and again, may not have been quite as efficient, but that's why we bring, excess amounts of stuff. And that's right, I could have targeted the moon sooner too. So as soon as this blue line breaks, I'm just going to stop. I'm getting mouse lag for some reason. Maybe I'm running too many mods. And... frick. Okay, good stuff. So now that we've got that and we've got an encounter, what I like to do is I like to right-click on the moon. Sorry, left-click. That was right-click. Focus the view to the moon. So now I can see things from the point of view of the moon. And if I were to continue doing the burn, so this is the periapsis. Right now, we'd fly by the moon at an orbit, a height of 454 meters. Now, here's something I forgot to check. Our ScanSat part, how high up does it want to be? We can't get that info here. I'd have to go back to the other bit. Because normally for the landing, what I want to do is bring my lunar... Let's pause a sec. What I want to do is bring my lunar periapsis as low as possible. That makes circularizing to orbit a lot cheaper and makes it a lot easier to go in for landings and everything like that. But for the satellite, this one's going to have to be fairly high up. 54 kilometers, sorry, not meters. Kilometers. Kilometers. Let's do a little save again. Again, always good to save before you change where you are. This used to be a historical source of crashes. Back in the 32-bit days, I think mostly because it would run out of memory by swapping from, you know, one vessel to another or whatever. High up, and you might want it at a highly inclined angle. That's true. So here's a crazy idea. What if we separate off the satellite now? See-through Coca-Cola bottle? Is it a magic bottle? It's worse when I have my, like, water bottle stuff. I don't know, it's just normal. I thought it was being green screened. Okay, so actually, this ScanSat is perfectly happy anywhere between 5 and 500. The height can affect some of the rate and whatever, but it ultimately is going to be fine. So it might take longer or less depending on the thing. And the lander doesn't care about inclination in a sense. It's better. It's better and easier to land and slightly requires less delta V if you land sort of prograde to the planet in the same direction that it is orbiting. Because then you don't have to decelerate as much to match the rotation. It's not that meaningful. Especially if we have lots of delta V in the lander, which we do. Plus we have excess delta V for actually arresting or orbiting. So, Jason, we can do the giveaway whenever. I mean, if you want, you can just send me a message or an email or something with a code, or you can just give it away yourself. You can choose any way you want to give away the key if you'd like. It was a Kerbal key, right? Which is really cool, new. Now, change your inclination does make it a little trickier to do the intersects, but not too bad. Tell you what we're gonna do. We'll burn normal. Actually, I think the best place to burn normal might be about midway through. I can't recall. If I were to burn normal here, yeah, it's a pretty slow change. I think somewhere around halfway here is actually the better place to do it. And our height currently is good, but I think I'd rather bring it a little lower. Sort of split the difference maybe halfway-ish. Yeah, I forgot with this mixed mission. It's going to affect things. Whoops! I'm supposed to hit shift for just a little bit of boost, and I hit Z for maximum throttle. You can see how the tiniest little change, we're so far away, the tiniest little change has massive implications about what we do later. But it saves us tons of fuel later. So there we go. I'll raise this up. There you go. Something like that. I'm going to be pleased with that. And yeah, I think about halfway, we're going to want to burn normal or anti-normal to change the angle at which we come in a little bit easier. Stop it! Oh my god. Again, I'm hitting the wrong hotkeys over and over here. Okay, we're still going to be okay. What did I want to do? I want to remember, there we go, how to bring my view back over here. And I want to warp to here. Yeah, Daniel, we're going to work on polar orbit. We're going to do a normal burn about partway through, which I believe will be one of the best places to do that. I might be remembering wrong, but I think that's all right. Okay, stop here. Focus the view again. We're not halfway, but I want to do it here just to confirm how we're feeling. Yeah, there we go. And again, it almost certainly would be much more efficient to have done it somewhere else. And actually, what we need to do now... Yeah, I should have changed my initial come in here. because there's some prograde and retrograde stuff which will move this, as well as potentially some radial, anti-radial. Looks to me like we want to go prograde here. We can right-click the periapsis marker to leave it on the screen as well. Because what we need to do is we need to shift it more over here, and that's less of a height thing and more of a question of, okay, yeah, but where are we meeting the moon? And so in a sense, what I should have done is left it. When we're at the point, and I forgot about this, when we're at the point where we're going to smack right into the middle of the moon, we should have left it there and then simply raised our orbit like this so that we'd fly overhead. And this, again, is a very minimal burn. Okay, that's going to be pretty damn polar. There we go, something like that. So we're going to be coming in over here. So we're basically pointing right at the moon, but slightly above. So we're going to pass just over the moon. And then over here, what we'll do is we'll do a retrograde burn relative to the moon to close our orbit. Done. Bob's your uncle. Insert other platitudes here. So I think we're okay. So we're going to zoom us in over here, and we can just warp to the sphere of influence change. This, I love the Patch Conics view here. Like, look at this. The loop-de-doop that we would do with the gravity of the moon doing stuff. Doesn't that look awesome? It's like a roller coaster. All right, so this is auto de-time warping us. But what I want to do. Okay. Listen, alarm clock, you can stop doing shit. There we go, thank you. There you go, because it's automatically going to slow us. Perfect. Okay, so we are now in the sphere of influence of the moon. We're going to lock ourselves retrograde. We still have 200 meters per second delta V in this thing. The stage that was only supposed to be responsible for circularizing us, not even getting us to the moon, which is this one, still has fuel left over, which is crazy. So yeah, we have tons to spare. So all we're going to be looking to do is at the periapsis, we're going to want to burn retrograde, take energy out of our orbit relative to the moon up until the point where the loop closes. We're going to want to vaguely circularize this. This won't be perfect because we're not going to have enough, actually, 208 meters per second delta V, 207.6 meters per second to get to this point. We have enough energy left in this stage to basically circularize this around the moon. Might not be 100% perfectly circled, but it's going to be pretty goddamn close. That's amazing. Okay, so yeah, you're going to be retrograde. That's going to be fine. We quick save before we do a time warp, and we say warp to next maneuver. And we're basically just using the maneuver node here to check our timings. So it figures it's going to need about 20 seconds worth of burn. I mean, which makes sense. We have about 20 seconds worth of fuel in here. So 10 seconds before the node, we'll just hit full throttle. Done. Do you have smartass yet? No, we have not unlocked that yet. We'll have to unlock some more science. Look at the sun over here. Everything is lovely and gorgeous. The gray moon. And we've got our orange little safety lights, making sure that we are safe in space over here. And everything is groovy. And let's fast forward just a scooch. So node T minus 10. Go for burn, holding retrograde. And we'll just let the entire tank empty itself. What we're doing is dropping the apoapsis to something more circular. Gorgeous. We're going to call that maneuver done. Then what I like to do is go to sort of one of the radial things, just to make it a little less likely that we'll get some sort of weird collision later on. And I'm going to stage. Okay, that wasn't quite as oomphy as I was hoping here. Oh, it just staged the airfoil over here instead of the decoupler. There we go. Okay. Done. Lovely. So, we're in a relatively circular orbit, which I'm mostly fine with. So, let's do a hard save here, because there's a chance I'll click in a really bizarre way. What I want to do at this point is separate out the satellite. Remember to turn the safety light off when you leave the satellite alone. It'll be fine. So right here, I want to decouple that stack separator. Releasing the satellite. Nice. I have a little ring there. That's cool. So, that's not the button. What is it? Square brackets? Yes, there we go. So this satellite is still in a happy little orbit. Everything is fine. It looks like it's being shoved to the moon, but it's not. They're just separating out this way. So we're gonna see this little. How do I click on this? Oh, this thing. We're going to start the radar scan, and hopefully the power on this thing is stable. I guess we're on the dark side right now. So far, nothing. But in theory, it's working. Where's my ScanSat button? Right over here. There we go. We're gonna get mapping. It should work. We'll come back to it after a bit, after a few orbits. Okay. This is the ring. We'll have to clean up some of this debris. Okay, then we have this bad boy. This bad boy contains our lander, plus this stage, which was originally supposed to send us to the moon. Oi, all right. So what I want to do is I want to go and I want to lower orbit first. Because the sort of lower the orbit we start with, the easier it'll be. I guess it doesn't matter. We have so much excess. Extend this antenna. We already had a signal because I think the probe was just relaying to the other satellite, which is the relay thing. For our safety, we're going to try to land while we are facing Kerbal, so we don't have to worry about satellite signals or anything like that. Although this poor little orbit, actually, right now, we're good. We can land anywhere. We might want to land on the light side. It's a lot easier to land when you can see your shadow. Also, it guarantees we have solar power. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to burn retrograde where we are. So I know I'm at the periapsis, but what you're going to do by burning retrograde or prograde, you're always changing the other side of the orbit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this part of the orbit down. And I'm going to make sure we actually have a lit engine for that. I think I can just hit spacebar to stage it, but I'm a little nervous. So I'm just going to land it that way. There we go. Because what we want to do is land somewhere over here, so we want this side to be a little lower. And that's going to be okay. Well, we can bring this down even more than this. There, something like that. That makes me feel fairly comfortable. You have safety lights, you don't have to worry about the sun. That's right, baby. We're going to abuse physics. So we're going to warp to our periapsis marker. Or thereabouts. And yet, we've got relays and shit going on. Oh, this is great. Okay, everything is great. Let's just stop here. I'm not too worried about doing it at exactly the periapsis or anything like that. We're going to be fine. We'll probably want to bring down the surface info panel just for our true altitude information at some point. So what we want to do is we'll switch to surface mode, which is going to be okay. And we're burning retrograde. Right now, all of our velocity is basically horizontal to the surface. So we're facing retrograde, but as we burn off our horizontal speed, we're going to start becoming more and more of a hyperbolic. What am I looking for? There's a word I'm looking for. Anyway, like an arc. And more of a retrograde is going to be towards the surface. And I don't care about burning off our vertical speed right now, which is effectively 0. What I want to do is try to kill off as much horizontal speed as possible. This camera angle feels a little odd. Oh, it's because we're in the bottom. I see. So I'm just going to burn here. And we're just burning off as much parabolic. Yeah, that's probably the word I was looking for. As much of our horizontal speed as possible. And we'll be able to see that visually here. And we can look at the specs on the surface info over there. Because this little horseshoe, our parabolic, is going to shrink and shrink and shrink. Now, it's going to be, you know, it's less, in a sense, fuel efficient to just do this full horizontal burn off like this. There's other ways to like do it better and more optimally for various things. I mean, there's no atmosphere here, so it's a little different. It's not like we can aero brake. But we have so much delta V that by far the thing to do is just going to try to burn off as much of our horizontalness as possible here. There we go. So we're more or less going straight down. More or less. Which is fine. And it's important to be in surface mode for that, because there's a difference between our sort of horizontal motion relative to the surface and relative to just our orbit before. Because remember, the moon is rotating. So now if I put to retrograde, our retrograde marker is basically straight down. That's a good sign. So I'm gonna, at this point, we could probably land with just this stage, but I may as well keep using the fuel in this stage, which is gonna be okay. I'm gonna go ahead and deploy my landing gear though, in preparation for this. A little quick save. And we're gonna let the time accelerate here. We're gonna let the speed go up. And again, the most efficient way to land is basically right at the last minute, right before you hit the ground, you turn on your engine at full power and have it work out so that your horizontal or your speed hits 0 just as you're touching the ground. That's the most optimal way to do it. It's called suicide burn. Oh, it's Mike again. Oh, I gotta check those once we land, I promise. But the problem is it's really hard to do that properly. So what I like to do is sort of eyeball things and say, okay, once we get to within X amount of distance, I'm not gonna let my speed go above whatever. So like we're at 10 kilometers here. Well, we're fine here. Once we get to within about 5, I'll try to bring it down to about 100, which would give us, what, 50 seconds to land? Bye-bye, Kerbal. So we don't actually have a direct connection to Kerbal right now, but luckily we still have our satellite. Okay, let's just go ahead with the burn now, because actually our surface level thrust, actually it's pretty good here. So there we go, we're dropping about 100. So if we're 6,000 meters and we're going 100 meters a second, that means it'll take about 60 seconds to land. So that's good. And then as we close in, I target sort of 50. Actually, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to bleed off a ton over here. More than I would normally do. And then I'm going to stage. Stage one more time. And then stage one more time. And just do that. Put a little bit of space. And that's going to crash land. It's going to show us. We're going to land in a little crater. A homemade crater. And yeah, watch out for true altitude. We're within 1 kilometer of the ground. Yeah, we're actually landing quite high here. So now you got to be careful if you're locked on retrograde like this. If you happen to go and bring your speed past 0 and therefore actually start going up, your whole vessel is going to want to flip. We're getting a warning that we're going close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the throttle to try to maintain a descent speed, more or less. And my goal is going to be to land at under 4 meters per second if I can. I think these landing gears can actually support maybe up to 6 or 8 or maybe even 12. But anywhere under 4 is going to feel pretty good. Look at this. Look how gorgeous this landing is going to be. In fact, I'm going to... Our speed continues to bleed off. Oh, this is gorgeous stuff. Look at this. 1 meter per second. 0.9, 0.8, 0.7. We've got a little bit sideways drift, but I think we'll be okay. I'm just going to go and kill it. Hey! What could be easier? Ha! And we got so much Delta V, we could take off and land somewhere else as well. All right, we're going to turn off the lights because they're too bright on the surface here. Look at this. Hey, how good are we? So, we're going to go ahead and collect all the science, and we're going to transmit it. And I'm just going to go and accelerate time warp a little, because what it'll help to do is manage our electricity a little bit. Because again, there's this funny thing where we can't change the rate of transmission, which is kind of annoying. Now, did we actually transmit it all? You're good. You're good. I think it all went. Oh, nope, this one didn't. So by fast forwarding, what you can do, yeah, I didn't do it right, is you can slow down the rate at which it transmits the data. We can do a thing and do partial bits, right? And have it do in little chunks. So get rid of require complete, I think is going to be okay. Safety lights scare the space kraken away. Like, I would just love to be able to slow this down and say, listen, just send, 24 BPS, it's going to be fine. There you go. Now you'll do the thing where you keep trying. Okay. Yeah, so this is what I want. This is fine. Done. Perfect. Okay. So, we're going to leave this probe here because we might get a mission later on to transmit science from the moon, and it can be science worth 0, and we can still complete that mission. A bunch of our stages were recovered. Not all of them, but a bunch of them. Many contracts complete, and this thing is going to stay there. What a gorgeous little lander, huh? Oops. And again, we could take off and try to land in another biome. Actually, what biome was this? Moon's Midlands. Now, at some point, we'll get some biome information of the planet, and we might actually be able to move to another biome. Like, this might count as Highlands and over here. In fact, there's a good chance it would. But maybe we'll save until we get another mission. Will the probe malfunction over time? I do run dang it, and the older a machine gets, the more likely it is, in fact, to break down. So that could be something. For now, I'll go and set to hibernate. Let's get hibernate and warp. So we're just going to hibernate this probe. I don't know if that has any impact on its breakdown chances over time with the dang it mod, but we shall see. Anyway, that is that. So, that was an excellent mission. Now, what I'm going to do is just get myself some more soda here. Now, we have a few more things to do. We could do the moon. We could start on the space station, but again, barring science, that might still be difficult. We did get a fair amount of science from that, which is pretty good considering we didn't actually run that many experiments. Storage technology, we've got recycling parts, which could be handy for stuff. Space exploration, which I believe will also include more science bits, more command modules, more landing stuff. But a part of me is wondering, we can get some upgrades on MechJeb over here, which actually would probably be handy. It's the cheapest science too, we'll just keep it in par here. What if we did a rescue mission? Which is not an easy thing to do. Can we get fuel lines? It's a great question. Fuel system. We need the advanced fuel system for the fuel lines, so no fuel lines yet. This is going to be different shaped fuel parts. We could do a rescue mission. Which I know is tough for some people. Build a hub station above the moon. We might. I mean, I think we were talking about getting one in Kerbal, but something like that could happen. Try changing the flag. So I don't actually have it loaded in there. So someone said in the astronaut complex we could change the flag? Administration building? The flagpole. Ah, that makes sense. But yeah, I didn't actually load it in as an add-on. I'd have to exit the game. Like, copy it into the right folder and exit the game. But yeah, okay, so the flagpole, we can change it. Excellent, sweet. I'm still not sure we have the parts to do the space, words. The space station. But what we could do is we could land a Kerbal on the moon and bring him home. Well, we could try. Send probe to orbit another planet. I mean, that's the thing. We could send
chocolate.
Actually, that's not a terrible idea. Hey, Mike. Oh yeah, and I was gonna check the thingies. The thingies. We could do the exact same mission, but to Minmus. Especially if we end up with a contract for it, which we may have to complete the moon one before a contract comes up for it. So yeah, we got a few coming in here while I was doing stuff. What do we have? We had a challenge come in from Mike, who said, have a challenge for you. Make a space station as close to the sun as you can get it. In the real world, hitting the sun is harder than hitting Pluto because of Earth's orbital speed. Oh, it's more efficient to go to Pluto, burn there, and fall back to the sun. That's actually one of the interesting things. Actually, okay, my point is going to be a different point. if you ever have a satellite and you have to do an inclination change like this, okay? And you'll get missions in Kerbal to do that sort of thing. It's actually more efficient for you to burn prograde and increase your orbit, then do the inclination change, then burn retrograde to bring down your orbit again. It's more efficient to do that than to just do the inclination change in the first place. And the more and more you burn out, the more it will become more efficient. Although it has a limit, a diminishing return. It has a limit of, I believe, about 43% efficiency. So at a certain point, you're not really gaining anything more, so you can stop. But it's always more efficient when you're doing an inclination change to burn prograde, do the inclination change, burn retrograde. Like, what are you, seriously? Space travel is weird, man. It's really weird. I might be wrong about 43%, but I'm pretty sure it's something like that. It's something like that. So that was Mike. And then we had Hobo. Oh, wow. Hobo Serenity. Wow. If you're going to name spaceships after Scotch, the Laguvulin needs to travel 15 years in space, so it's properly aged for optimal re-entry. That's what we do. We just name ships after Scotches and then send them on these giant orbits to come back. I love it. I love it. Xandros, any plans for off-world spaceship construction in the future? Maybe. We have all the mods for it in some way. We might do something. I don't know. Then Mike said, why didn't the sun go to college? Because it already had 1 million degrees. I love terrible jokes. I love terrible jokes. Mike also says, have you ever been to Norway? I think you would love it. I have not. And I almost went once. There was a university that was talking about flying me out for some stuff, and it fell through. And I was so sad because I really want to go to Norway. Because I've been to Sweden, I've been to Denmark. I got to do the other sibling, man. Got to be right up there. And then the quick reminder to check the Whiskey and Chocolate Fund. Absolutely their work. Thank you very much, Jermaine. Build a space distillery. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so this is all stuff we have to build up to. Rather than simply repeat the mission we just did, but with Minmus, let's send a man mission to Minmus, okay? Because it's actually easier to do that. I was going to check contracts. It's fine. It's actually easier to land on Minmus than the moon. It's slightly harder to do your Minmus intercept than the moon intercept, because Minmus is a little smaller and at a slight inclination. But it's so easy to land on Minmus because it's tiny, it has like no gravity. So let's do that. Mark 1 command pod. Check. Let's, how are we gonna plan this? It's gonna be a lone pilot. No scientist or anything for reusing stuff. So we might want to go with like, okay, tell you what. We've got, under the science category, have we unlocked? No, we don't have the experiment box, which is a little unfortunate because it can save us a little bit of effort. But I was thinking, do we do something like triple science juniors? So we can get high orbit, low orbit, and on the ground. That's a lot of weight to get up there. You know? Desert launch site, same latitude as Minmus' inclination? Interesting. Send scientists instead of... I have a personal rule where I don't do that. Yes, the optimal thing is you send a scientist and use a probe course, you still get all your SAS, or you have enough like mech jab, and then you get to reset everything. I have a personal rule that all my missions require pilot. So we're not going to do that. 2 Mark 1 pods, perhaps. I mean, and we've got the... Minimum crew to operate is 1, but how many can you actually put in there? It's got... Oh, man. Crew must include a pilot. Oh. Oh, interesting. Okay. This one's huge. Crew capacity 2, crew capacity 1. So this P re-entry module can fit 2 people in it. 2 little green Kerbals like peas in a pea pod. Engineer managed to fit in an extra Kerbal in the same space. Okay, so they'll be a little crowded. But if we start with this, which looks awesome, then we can put 2 people in here. So we could have Fallen God 0 and Dradius, say, do this mission. I like it. Now, this little hanger button, does it let me change their outfits? Oh my god. Okay. 2 people have to like each other a whole lot. 2 kills it is! Now that's a sort of enthusiasm that I like. So it has a built-in decoupler and everything. Crew report, yeah, battery. It's got a bit of an ablator, but we're not going to count on that. But no parachute, right? I don't think so. Okay. So, I mean, what if... I mean, does this work without burning up? I don't even know, man! I haven't tested these pods. I have no idea if this works or not. It works without burning up. Uh-huh. Alright. So, in theory, we could land just with this thing coming home. What could possibly go wrong? The parachute looks insufficient. I agree. We could do a little test. Let's make an unmanned re-entry test first. You know, it might be worthwhile. Okay. Oh, did I switch editors? Oh, that's interesting. It's a handy button, actually. That didn't used to be a thing. If we empty it, and we launch it, and then we use hyper edit. Oh, we should put a probe core on here so that we can control it and point it the right way. I'm just curious. Yeah, we should have put a probe core on it. But let's see. We'll load up hyper edit. Edit current vessel, Kerbin. Put us at an altitude of 75,000 meters. Cool. Oh, but it's putting you in an orbit. Yeah, we don't actually want you to be in an orbit. We want you to be coming straight down. Change orbital velocity, was that in there? Oh! Speed, 0. Apply. Complex orbit, set periapsis to 0. Oh, this is a change of speed. I see. Or relative to the orbit or whatever. Okay, It's coming straight down. The problem is we can't steer it for the heat shield to go down. So, I mean, this is not going to work. But out of curiosity... Now, this is also coming in from a very, very low orbit and straight down. Yeah, I won't be able to deploy this at all. Oh, it actually is apparently aerodynamically stable, so failing to steer it is going to be okay. But I probably should have come in from higher up, because we're getting no heat effects. Which is interesting. All right. You know what? I'm satisfied with this. I feel this is probably going to work. Yeah, I shouldn't have killed so much speed. I should have had it come from higher up and at an angle to simulate everything. But I have faith that this is going to work. I also don't think that this is so heavy. 1.5. It is double the weight of the Mark 1 command pod. So maybe we do want some extra parachutes just to make sure. We got some more whiskey and chocolate coming in. Oh, you guys are going to drive me to drink. Thank you. How many ears? Oh no, Mike's got more bad jokes. How many ears does Spock have? 3. A left ear, a right ear, and a final front ear. I did not see that coming. I've never heard that before. Final front ear. Oh my god, that's so terrible. Oh god, thank you so much. That's wonderful. Oh, Jesus. And it also says, what kind of music do planets like? Neptunes. Oh, it's so awesome. Oh, so good. Okay. Oh god, if you guys want to keep sending me bad jokes, I will never stop you. All right, we're gonna get a decoupler on here for the re-entry, and then what I'm gonna do is, oh, that's too big of a decoupler, isn't it? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, that's like even way too much juice for the other thing. Just a pair then. And then, let's see what I'm trying to do in a second here. Get you. I want this to be an ascent stage kind of thing. If it's gonna be awkward, I gotta put more science experiments down here and stuff. The idea was to just ascend with this. That way we don't have to bring up the, I mean, it might work. Like, I don't want to have to launch with the science module. Then we're too tall. It's kind of crap. Okay. I was trying to do something different from how I usually do it, but I don't think it's gonna work. I guess I could do this. So where's the actual entrance? I guess it's there. Then just leave you on the ground. The problem with something that's going to be kind of tall like this is it could topple over very easily. Bioshock bot? Kinda, yeah. Put you here so you don't get burned by that. And land that way. It does look like a cute little robot with little stubby arms. So the idea being, when we take off from Minmus, we take off here and leave this behind. Yeah, we are just asking to topple. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. Just a bunch of these ladders is gonna do fine. Now it's Minmus. We don't actually need a ladder at all. Don't forget power on the bit you're leaving behind. No, I don't think we need power down there, do we? You have RCS unlocked yet? We may have some. It might not be a terrible idea. Okay. So we're not going to be able to reset. You know what? Can I do this and not destroy that? You know what? Come. Damn you. I'm gonna put this on top. And do something like that. Looks like Kenny from South Park. We do have... Oh, let's name this bad boy. The Fluff Forest. I like it. We do have more science. We might be able to unlock better landing gear. Let's see if we can do that. It was a boy. Oh my god. I wasn't even thinking about how loot things would look. Chocolate. Yeah, we got enough to get some more landing gear. And we got some more whiskey and chocolate coming in. It's from Mike. Oh no. I don't know if I even want to read it, Mike. It's going to be another bad joke, isn't it? My Newthosaurus is terrible. Not only that, but it's also terrible. What did the blanket say as it fell off the bed? Oh, shit! My sister for a while, like she's an artist, and for a while to help pay the bills, she was doing those, you know, those sort of paint night classes. People would show up at a bar, get drunk, and do some pretty simplistic art, which don't get me wrong, I've done it, it's fun as hell. So, so she was doing that for a while, and so she had a huge array of these terrible jokes that she would use during her sort of show. I don't remember any of them, unfortunately, but they were great. I'm going to move these up a little bit just to be a little bit more sort of low center of mass here. It'd actually be better almost if the fuel tank were lower than the experiment, but then, you know, we need some of this fuel to take off again. Okay, I like it. If I recall, we only need like something like 300 meters per second to land and take off on Minmus. Even then, actually, that might not have been quite right. So I think this guy can get the job done pretty well. And he does look like a little robot, which I love. All right, so we got you. So now we need some more significant staging over here. So we're gonna have you, and a terrier. Actually, replace that with something like this. We may need to do the triple barrel thing like last time too. Actually, let's do that right away here. What is it? Structural. Triple. Like that. And some swivel engines. And before I forget, we're gonna do that. And we'll also auto-struct these to the root part, which helps cut down on wobble. So what are we looking at now? We got 28K delta V here, another 1,000 over here. So we do need more than this, although it's possible that just adding in some SRBs would be good. Unfortunately, we still don't have asparagus rating or staging. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replace this one with that. So we'll have a big old FLT 800 tank on our Terrier stage. giving it 1600 meter per second delta V. That's a lot better. And then I will still use the radial decoupler setup over here with the hammers. Like that. And we'll still get everything to light on the bottom at the same time. There we go. Your exits are blocked by parachutes? Really? I assumed this was the exit. This looks kind of exity to me. Reaction wheels, maybe. I'm assuming this has a reaction wheel in it. I suppose I could use this and not the Terrier right from the start. That's true. Saber still has a little bit of weight. Isn't there a warning for this block? Yeah, I think there would be. No, hatch obstructed. No control. So, okay. Oh, I think it's complaining about no control because we don't have a pilot. And who we're going to bring Dradius, we'd said. Yeah. So the hatch is obstructed.
It's whiskey and chocolate.
It's more whiskey and chocolate. Oops. Come on. Okay. Huh. Which one of these is the hatch? This one, maybe? Hang on a sec with the whiskey and chocolate. I guess I could find out if I grab this, put a single one here. No. This one's the hatch. Okay. I take this whole thing, rotate it this way, so the ladder's in line with the hatch. Then what is this thing supposed to be? Because it looks like something deployable, you know? Belly button. That's a ladder? Why would the ladder not be in line with the hatch? Comlink? Racing stripe. Yeah, I could hit a button or something. Anyway, it looks like we're gonna be okay to do it this way. So who's the whiskey and chocolate from? It's from Mike. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Loading, loading, loading. Why don't ants get sick? Because they have antibodies. Do you just have like a joke of like dad jokes for a page of dad jokes for kids open? It's sort of what it's feeling like here. Yeah, let me get a big old reaction wheel. Right here. Because, okay, hold on. I'm assuming wrong. Okay. This P doesn't have any reaction wheels whatsoever. So we have to make sure that between it and the heat shield, which I'm assuming is down there, we'll double check that, we're going to need a reaction wheel. We may as well use a big one. Yeah, there you go. Now, do we need a fairing? I mean, this doesn't look entirely aerodynamic. Solar panels. Oh god, life support. I don't think we need RCS. Now, with this mod, if I recall correctly, people can actually live without life support for a fairly long amount of time. But life support tank, oh, different sizes. Is it this? Seven days, I think, for habitation. No supplies. I mean, we'll go and throw it in. We can probably, hold on. We don't have to bring that. We don't have to land with it. So what we'll do is we'll put it here. So we'll ditch it before we re-enter into the atmosphere. 23 days worth of supplies. Okay. Only 41 minutes of batteries, because we didn't put any batteries in here. Storage is lacking. Mm-hmm. Not the 1K. Maybe we can just have a little fairing above this. We don't have... Yeah, okay. So the 1K... And we'll put you back here. I mean, we're still gonna have the fairing base. There we go. Now he's got a little hat! Fairing just for the battery? No, it's mostly gonna cover the magnetometer. Or whatever. 20 days enough for Minmus return? I think so! Worst case scenario, we have a couple of Kerbal starve to death. I mean, what's the big deal? Have hat is the best. Space Pope! It's a Pope hat, you're right. This Pope Vessel 1 is what we're gonna have. What happened to my staging? Oh, as I move things around, things got foobarred here. So you can ditch that. And then... Stage, light, those. And then really stop doing anything, because we're not going to be using our staging anymore. We're probably going to manually deploy some stuff, just to make sure everything is okay. Should we try it? Oh. Bits are getting twisted all over the place. There. We don't actually need the ladder, because it's Minmus, and we can just jetpack everywhere. Safety lights! My god, you're right. How could we possibly fly without our safety lights? I mean, otherwise this would not be safe. Here, we'll have them over here, just under the solar panels, right? Because that's our trick. There we go. Dalek Space Pope. Safety lights for eyes? Alright. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. What could go wrong? So you got that. I'll auto-struct you here to something. You were auto-structed to the root part, and you've got structs in between. So you're going to be alright. Same thing over here. I'll get you auto-structing to the root part up there. And like that. Just to interweave things. What could possibly go wrong? Let's do it. We'll just ship from our launch pad. It's going to be fine. Minmus intercept isn't that hard. We don't have an antenna. That's true. I don't think we're going to need it. We'll be able to bring everything back in just one trip. It's going to be fine, you guys. Oh, we don't have any winglets. You're right.
Whiskey and chocolate.
There's whiskey and chocolate. You also get some bits in from Ben, the Autistic Gamer. Watching you some second Civ 4 Caveman to Cosmos. Is that an awesome mod or what? We're also wobbly as is. So here's what we're going to do. I think we've got some science we can do here. So from the launch pad, we're going to go ahead and deploy this. We're on the ground. It doesn't think we're on the ground. Interesting. Alright, yeah, we need our winglets, and I'll use a stabilizer setup on the ground as well. Because that wobble's a little sketchy. Oh, my what game never got updated. Ha ha ha! Whoops. A wobble's probably why it thinks you're not on the ground. I suspect that's true. So yes, get our winglets. And what's the difference between these? I don't remember, but and do something like that. As long as we launch straight up, we'll be okay. What could possibly go wrong? Wow. Banned! That's not even a good bot! That's really bad bot! That's an incompetent one! Like, seriously, I'm disappointed, son! Alright. Now we're good. Probably, maybe. Whatever, first stage is okay, second stage is okay, third stage is supposed to be combine these guys. What could possibly go wrong? SAS on! Full throttle is a go! Woohoo! Light that candle. Wow, this bad boy goes fast. And we got a little space pope on the top. Alright, let's start the gravity turn. I think I'll be a little more aggressive than last time. We've got a very similar rocket setup here. I mean, our ascent stage is exactly the same. And we had pretty good... Ooh, that lag. Pretty good control authority. We have a lot of gimbling. Whoops. Plus the winglets. So I'm going to go a little outside the prograde marker here. To try to turn a little bit more aggressively so we can be a little flatter and get a slightly sexier circularization. I mean, we're still hitting our 45-degree tilt a little... Oh, this one wants to take off for me here. There we go. A little after 15K, but that's alright. Time to apoapsis was climbing very slowly. Went back to climbing here. So yeah, we're... Oh, no, actually, I'm looking at the wrong numbers. I keep looking at the apoapsis as our altitude. So actually, we're a little flatter than I might want to be. We're going to stay in the thicker air a bit longer. Still, overall, we're okay. Apoapsis is climbing and not too fast. And I'm pretty pleased with this. It's going to be very flat. But I think we're going to be okay. I think when we go to our next stage with the Terrier engine, I think we're going to be high enough that it'll have a really good efficiency. Space boat. Does whatever a space boat can. So I'm not too worried about these flame effects because the atmosphere is fairly thin, that this is not going to generate a truly massive amount of heat. Okay, Apo has climbed quite a bit here. Just going to go completely flat. Oh, there we go. Kill that. Stage. Just push it up to 100K. Actually, I'm going to stop here, because I don't want to burn this that long in the atmosphere. Since we're not burning right now, I will leave the hat on the Space Pope for just a little bit longer, because technically it still adds a little bit of aerodynamicness, and we're not burning, so the weight doesn't matter. Although at this point, okay, there's basically no air, so I'm going to go ahead and deploy you, and that's going to be okay. Turn on lights. Ooh! It's like burning up inside the capsule now. Ah! Because the lights on your vessel itself, you don't have like internal shadowing and whatnot. So it's all lit up inside, you can see there. Okay, maybe we'll turn the lights off for now. That's looking a little too creepy. Spacebot! Alright, we're now officially in space. We are in space. What is this? There's something that's confused with the magnometer. Maybe if we're in a full orbit, but I'm wondering, like, it's clipped weirdly and it's not sure about something. Do. Feel free to report that person too. The actual channel as well. Well, here's the thing. We don't know for sure that the bot is actually from the person. Theoretically, someone could be setting up bots to make someone else look bad. Right? Think about that. So maybe we don't report the actual channel. Alright, you're deployed. What's your time to apoapsis? It's coming up soon. This is still a relatively long burn time, so I think I will start to burn now. Yeah, see, our time to apoapsis is still shrinking, so we did not start burning too early. If I wanted more oomph, I could light out both these engines. I could also confirm that we're not going to burn ourselves up. There we go. Time to apoapsis is growing now, so just wait a little bit. Yeah, you can link solar panels. I don't think I've unlocked the action groups yet. I think we need to upgrade the science center for that, or there might be something else. But then what you can do is you can hotkey items. And then you just hit like the one key and have it all linked together. Okay, we're gonna have to move some fuel around here. Can I transfer resources? Do I need to unlock something for that? I think I do. Enable crossfeed. But I'm still not getting the buttons to transfer things. Oh wait, there's another, hold on. I forgot there's another decoupler over here. But no, there's still not. Okay, crossfeed is on, so if I light, all my engines go. So the crossfeed is working, but the transfer's not there. I think we're probably okay. Here's the thing, I'm actually gonna save. I'm gonna go to the Space Center. Just EVA with a jerry can. Yeah, I don't think anyone would be dumb enough to use bots to advertise their own channel like that. I think it's someone else trying to make shit for someone else, like, yeah, make someone else look bad. There you go, transfer, resource transfer available. I think this is what we need. Of course, we don't have enough money for that. Can we take out a loan? Ooh, orbital station around the moon. We got some advances. How many advances can we get? I don't want to take the rescues because people will die from lack of life support stuff. Is there another mission we can just complete now? We could quickly do a satellite mission. Good orbital docking. Yeah, I'm not bad, actually. I'm actually very good at orbital docking. Not that we have a docking clamp on there. And we need more science for it. I mean, if I have enough life support, we should be okay. I'm still confused, actually, as to why. There it goes. This thing was 100% sure I couldn't do it. No, Not suitable for use during atmospheric flight. Try again on ground or in space. I'm clearly in space! Oh, I used the universal storage version of it. That's probably what's broken. I think it's confused because I used the wrong version of this. Yeah, we can't revert now because I did go somewhere else, but we could land this and confirm that that works. Dang. Well, we'll get a material study from space. Done. We're not going to be empty-handed. So to land. There we go. We're just gonna go this. If we can get the level of XP on the pilot, that would be good. Although maybe we'll throw a probe core on here as well, just to get access to more SAS modes. Yeah, that should be fine. Who's just laughing? That's funny. Oh, these solar panels are gonna burn off on re-entry. Use absolute exposure versus relative. Huh. I can't retract them, so yeah, they're just gonna burn up. So I might want to move the solar panels as well. No, I don't think it's dang it problem. I think it's because I use the universal storage version, and it's sort of confused maybe about where it is. Well, Gradius and Fallen God Zero. Yeah. So what I can do, what I'll do next time is just turn off those fuel tanks completely. So that we can still use the extra boosters, but not use that. Can we decouple the solar panels? Nope. So yeah, they'll just burn off, which is going to be fine. They'll either burn off or blow off. I'd rather they just blew off. But I think they're going to burn instead. I know the pod has a decoupler. The problem is that the pod, while it does have an ablator, it doesn't have an ablator this strong. So, because it's a 20-point ablator as opposed to an 800-point ablator. So I'm not sure the 20 is going to be sufficient. Okay, so the solar panels are going to explode. And I'm just hoping they don't take the rest of the ship with them. We could do like one of those rotation things, which sometimes helps you bleed things off, depending on how things, but it's not going to be the case here. One more. One more to go. Just burn off already. You're being aerodynamically unstable. Maybe if I put you on the bottom? Oh, shit. Yeah, it's influencing our path. We gotta make sure to keep our ass. Watch us not lose the solar panel. I mean, we'll lose it at some point, because if it doesn't burn off, it's just gonna get broken by the wind. Like, it actually can only support something like 20 meters a second in the atmosphere. Okay, there we go. Now everything's fine. Everything's okay. Now, what do we think our parachutes will work? Oh right, I didn't bring that to material study. I needed to shit. I need the EVA to grab the science from the material bay. Ah, poop. So we didn't even get that. It's a complete disaster of a mission. Aww. Time warp. We could EVA here. Well, let's get the crew report. We will do an EVA, but a little bit lower. Not a disaster if you learn things. Entry check, massive explosion check. Helmet secure in the locker. Yeah, we don't need to wear helmets. Alright. What's this decoupler? Oh. I think I can remove this built-in decoupler from the staging. Although, it's fine. Cancel the quick save. Well, yeah, but you know what? We've done it at this point. It's fine. Okay, so now that we're here, let's EVA. Grab it. Oh, it's so lovely. More again. There we go. Nice. All right, fast forward. Imagine landing on top of a mountain. Yeah, and it just keeps like rolling forever. That would be funny. At least with the SAS, oh, it doesn't have an internal stabilizer though. It might just roll forever. You remember to get science? Of course I did. Open the hatch, Bill. I love that you can see Dradius in the back here. Done. Yeah, it's still really confused. Collect, board, recover. Alright. Roll a short distance, then explode noisily. The problem with Kerbal technology is that even their static elements, like struts and girders, apparently are made with plastic explosives or something, so they're just ready to just like boom all the time. So we're gonna have to wrap this up here, because we are hitting just after 4 p.m. But let's make some adjustments to this vessel. Hey, we got some new Kerbal badges for people, which is nice. It's made of explodium, yeah. Yeah, the magnetometer wasn't working, Cyber. And I think it's because... Oh, you didn't actually load the ship. That was weird. I think it's because I used the universal parts variant. So I used this one, the universal storage magnetometer boom, instead of just the regular one, and I think it was confused about where it was and how it was supposed to work. But before I put that on, I'm also going to go and throw on our most advanced probe core, so that we can get some better SAS functions, even if our pilots aren't too terribly skilled. So that was one thing. The other thing I'm going to do over here is I'm going to default this fuel can to just be off. Like that. And I'm going to enable cross-feeding here and here. And there we go. I'll have all these engines light when we separate. So we'll put this one to use. We could just get rid of the Terrier then. And I think I will, just to save weight. Click, damn you. So we'll actually only use these guys on the side to move us. We'll be dragging a fuel tank behind us, and that's going to be a-okay. Let's get this bad boy into orbit, and then we'll put a cut there, and then next week we can continue the rest of the flight to Minmus. How do you feel about that? About moving the battery down for a more stable landing? Maybe. I was kind of liking the idea of having the battery core still with this final stage, which we could still do. I can move it to right under there, but no, I'll leave it. So the question now, well, we'll probably cycle the crew. You know, give everyone a chance. So, Swear to Crazy I'm Not God and Scampy, you guys have been picked for the second launch of the Fluff Forest. I did disable the tank. We don't have an antenna. We don't need an antenna. It's fine. We'll totally come back with all the science and not have anyone die. Oh, move the panels. Yeah. Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but let's do it. Antenna for your scientists to restart the material bay. I mean, we can walk outside, collect it, and put it into the canister. But yeah, okay. Let's, sure. We'll do it. We'll move the solar panel. We'll throw in an antenna. What the hey? And we could probably remove the excess decoupler, or what I'm going to do is I just want to not stage. There we go. This decoupler on there. And yeah, the solar panels. We'll move to here. And then we'll leave the lights on this part. So we'll land with the lights. Wow, that was laggy. Like that. And sure, the people want an antenna. We'll give them an antenna. Done. Okay. Hey, got some bits in from Ben again. Keep forgetting to read my bit message. I didn't read your whole bit message. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. Let's get that loading again. Oh yeah, the Caveman to Cosmos. Then I got distracted. Back Valentine's Day 2012, version 21, and it's not version 35.8. Would love to see you play it again. Yes. Also, you may like the KSP mod pack RP0. I've tried it, and it's excellent. Since you like realism, the game starts and progresses from 1951. It's really hard, the RP0, because it's like real propellants, and you have to worry about like getting the initial sort of like gravity boost to shove all the fuel to the back so that it's properly flowing into the engines and things, and then fuel can like freeze up. So it's crazy. It's very cool though. So we're still not going to do the magnetometer here because it would require us popping this, but hopefully it works now. Okay, go. Let's get this force into space. Yes. All right. Here, go for roll. It's a great looking rocket, man. And what I like is that it actually doesn't look like the rockets I usually build. I think in part because of the order that we get some of these parts in, using the unmanned first, which is kind of cool. What do you forget this time? I don't know. There's always something, man. Like, we need a true and proper checklist. Since we don't have a lot of Delta V, I'm also kind of concerned about that. It might just be a little confused with the calculations because of the staging order or something. I think I've got all the cross feeds on. So there's you, and you, yeah. And it's turned off here. Right, it's not factoring the Delta V from that, because that is turned off. We need to pitch over some more here. We're going up too steeply. Gotta drag that prograde down to the horizon. This fuel tank should feed these guys up here. If we've done anything vaguely right, we'll double check, but that should work. And stage. And... do I just spacebar here? Okay, good. Okay. All right. We don't actually have to have them going, but it should be using this stage of fuel, and it is. These might not simply not be as efficient as the Terrier. And deploy you. We're just going to drift to space, and then we'll circularize. You try a new pathfinding game. I don't know which one you mean. And so clear. I mean, no, I haven't. Oh, we have smartass now. Nice. So we have superior options here. So this scan, yay, is working. Woo! All right, we'll transmit that for basically no science. We'll extend some solar panels. We may as well keep the antenna extended. Unallow partial. So you have 23 days worth of stuff. How long does it take to get the Minmus? I actually don't remember. Side engines are approaches for efficiency versus... I was pretty sure about that. So I think this might be killing our Delta V. Well, we'll find out. Smartass, AKS chat. So let's lock ourselves to prograde, which we are. I suppose we could use these. Here, we'll use the smartass stuff because it's nice to have real big buttons for that. We don't have the automatic maneuvers yet. That's okay. So we'll circularize, and then in theory we should be able to do the material science and reset it. Oh. Quite a bit of wobble here. Even with the reaction wheel, I'm a little surprised by that. Whoa! Huh. Well, that was less than great, but okay. We're now circularized. Hooray! So, let us do the material study. We're going to collect it. We're not going to transmit it because we only get half the science. Then, our scientist, who is Scampy over here, is going to EVA. And you're going to bravely let go of the ship. We don't need tethers here. And I'm totally going to remember all the EVA commands. Come around here. Do you have to come around to the front? Oh, that's the fuel tank. Lubricate motor. Assemble. Collect data. Restore the experiment. Excellent. And yeah, for the dang it, we can go and like, you know, inspect things. Can inspect things before you do a burn. And it actually gives you, like, assuming nothing's actually broken, it even gives you a... Wow, there's a lot of stuff for me to accidentally destroy here by running into it with my Kerbal. It actually gives you, like, a minute or something of you're not going to get a random problem. Because it would be sort of annoying if you inspected it and then it immediately, like, broke right after, and you're like, dude? Grab. Board. Okay! So we can do the material bay experiment once again after this. Oops, stop. I didn't mean for you to burn. Okay, so, Minmus, which is over here, set as target. And very similarly to the moon, we can basically do a prograde burn at about the time that Minmus kind of rises. And that'll basically work out. Now it's a little trickier because Minmus is on a slight incline. There might have been... Yeah, so we don't get the intersection there. It's because we're too high. But it's probably okay, and then we can sort of fix it after the fact, or we might want to do something else first. If we cancel this and try this again. What was the moon doing for us? Any slingshot? I mean, it would slingshot us, but maybe not in a way that's helpful. Yeah, no. That's a hell of a slingshot, though. Oh.
It's whiskey and chocolate.
I think what I'll do is I'll wait one orbit. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be enough delta V. Again, it's a little bit weird Because what's going to happen is this tank is going to empty, and then we'll burn there. But no, we don't have enough Delta V. The whole thing. These engines are not efficient enough. When I had the Terrier, we did, and then when I took it off, we lost too much Delta V. So we're going to do another revert here, and we'll do it this next week. We'll put the Terrier back in. It'll be better. We'll deal it then. We do actually have a little bit more Delta V than this, but not enough. So we'll go and we'll do this. We'll put in the Terrier so we don't forget. And yeah, we'll just do it this way. That's going to give us more Delta V in that stage, probably. Although a fairly slow burn, admittedly. And we might do something else. Maybe, but we don't need these big engines for Minmus. These little spiders, I think, are much more efficient, which you can tell from the ISP. So the ISP of these is 305 in a vacuum. Actually, okay, they're not as efficient as the Terrier, but they are more efficient than the spiders. They're also really heavy, though. They're like almost a ton each, and we had 2 of them. Whereas the Terrier, which would have more than enough oomph for that landing, is considerably lighter. What I might do is just that. There you go. We need the crossfeed here. Although, how do we take off then? I guess that's the thing. Even though these have lower ISP, they're so light. Yeah, this would be a thrust-to-weight ratio of 2.31, which is these 2 little engines on there, which is pretty amazing. I might want to go with a trio like this. That should be relatively safe. Oh, wait, I was looking at the wrong number. I was looking down here. Hold on. Yeah, we need more Delta V. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll put a cut. Probably we'll just put more fuel in one of these later stages. That's really all it is. Or develop another, like, if this is the circularization phase, maybe we'll do another stage for the Trans-Minmusian injection or something like that. We'll probably need to do something of that nature. Oh! Hang on a sec. There you go. I knew something wasn't quite right. So that's a little bit better. How come these... we're not getting any Delta V stats at all for this stage? Oh, this fuel tank is disabled. Thank you. There you go. 5,400. Surface level thrust for Minmus. Yeah, okay, that was insufficient, so we would go with the trio. There you go. Better that way. We probably still need a little bit more Delta V thrown in here, which should mostly be here, but this is still a fair bit of a win. So, okay. Anyway, we'll save that. We'll continue this next week. But I think we should be able to get there. This, of course, would be a lot easier with more technology, but needs more hap space. Does it, though? Is that a thing that's simulated? habitation. Is that what this is? Is there's literally just not enough living space? So they only have 7 days worth of effective living space, whatever that means. Then what, they go batshit insane? Oh, see, I haven't played with this life support mod. I'm usually playing with the TAC life support mod. Oh, that's funny. So this literally, this would be a no-go. Well, unless we just land this one on the moon. It's a shorter trip. This wouldn't be enough oomph, but we could put back the 2 side engines or redesign the mission. Cabin fever is a thing. Wow. Stop working, become tourists. Yeah, they just go batshit. Oh, that's so funny. Because, yeah, that's not enough time. Not for Minmus. It's too far away. Need to expand the Lebensraum? Yeah, I've heard that before. Gotta go outside for a breather. Yeah, but the thing is, we can't really... Like, we could add another, you know, component on here to give more space. But it wouldn't work out. So what we could do is we could replace this module. Like, we could just go with one person instead. No scientist. Still only 15 days, though. It's still tight. Which, I mean, you know what? I'm claustrophobic. I don't blame them. We'll figure that out next time. Just roll down the window. They'll be fine. Is it in Warhammer 40k where all orc like spaceships are designed with windows that can be rolled down so that like orcs can shoot out the window at people? They have like force fields or something to make it possible. There's some weird shit like that. Orcs in 40k are the best. So that is it for today's stream. Next live stream should be on Wednesday, where we continue our run as Scythea in Civilization 6. On Saturday, we play miscellaneous things, so we'll see what happens there. And then next Monday, we'll be back with some more Kerbal Space Program. Orktober? Happy Orktober? Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, we'll see you next time, folks. Bye-bye. Orcs are the best. They're so good.